This video is brought to you by Dr. Kristen R. Bromley's Guitar Method Book Series and Online Music Academy.
Hi, I'm Dr. Kristen Bromley. Welcome to my online academy. It's so great to have you joining me here in these online lessons. This is lesson 6 in this series that is all about strumming patterns and strumming principles. Such a fun series. In this lesson, we're going to have a bunch of 8th notes and some syncopated quarter notes, which sounds like a bunch of technical garb for some cool strumming patterns that sort of build off what we did for 4/4 time in lessons 2 and 3. So in lesson 2, we had a strumming pattern where we worked all with 8th notes in various ways that we can have strumming patterns. As we know, there's 4 contributing factors to a strumming pattern. One is the meter or the time feel, so we're in 4/4 time. 2 is the actual rhythm, so in that case we had all 8th notes. 3 is the strumming direction, so whether we're alternating down and up, doing all down, having some sort of interesting combination when we're doing down and up, all of that affects sort of the groove. And doing these strumming patterns, as I've mentioned before, is all about creating a cool groove. So, and the fourth thing is how we treat each note. So, we had some various ways that we could do it with all 8th notes. In lesson 3, we looked at a combination of 8th notes and quarter notes together, playing the most essential, fundamental strumming patterns that we do on the guitar, especially as we're getting started, and then actually throughout our entire lives as we play the guitar, though we may learn some other techniques in some other ways. So, we had those fundamental, essential patterns and some variations that we could do with those for different styles of music in lesson 3. We then worked on 2/4 time and 3/4 time. Now we're back to 4/4 time, doing something that's more 8th note based, but has some syncopation in there with some tying together of the 8th notes. So rather than explain it, let's just dive in and have some fun with it. Up here on the board, I have this main strumming pattern that we're going to start off with, and we'll look at a couple other things as we're going. So down, up, down, up is what we've got written up there. With our even 8th notes or straight 8ths, we just have 1 up, 2 up, 3 up, 4 up, or 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And now we're adding a tie on the and of 2 over to beat 3. So 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 and down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Okay, if we take it and plug it into a chord progression, which is way fun, especially when these chord progressions really are used in a lot of songs that we could end up playing, or that we do play, it makes it even more fun. Sounds like real happening music to us. So we got D, G, A, and G. That's going to be our chord progression for working on these ones here together. So we got D, G, A, and G. Or you can play G that way too. So down, up, down, up, down, up. 1, 2, 1 time, 1 measure per chord. 1, 2, ready, and... So with this, we can also do it with swung 8th notes. So down, up, down, up, meaning we're moving those off beats further back into the beat than directly in between the down strums where we're on the beat. So we'd have down, up, 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 down, up. So we'd have 1, 2 with the chords and... So just as simple as that. Now, if we end up having 2 chords per measure, which is something that we have, we would plug these in. We're going to anticipate across the middle of the bar there. So our new chord would normally come in on beat 3. We're not strumming on beat 3, so we're going to bring it in on the and of 2. So it'd be like down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Usually we do that. We could actually delay the entrance. Changes the feel a little bit, which I'll demonstrate. But let's first go with those even 8th notes, nice and slow, doing a half a measure per chord. We'd have 1, 2, ready, and down, up, down, switch chord, switch. Just like that. Now we could swing it as well. 1, 2, ready, and. Just like that. Super fun. Now, if we did delay the entrance of that second chord to the and of 3, it has a different feel, a different effect. Usually we anticipate across the syncopation like that. Usually we pull the chord. If the chord isn't going to be strummed directly on the beat that it comes in on, usually we anticipate it with the 8th note or the and that comes right before it. Usually, but sometimes we don't want that feel. And that's what's fun if you're into songwriting or into sort of arranging and creating your own version of a song. Sometimes we mess with these things and it creates a fun variation. It creates an interesting piece of music that has a little bit of a surprise to it sometimes. So I'm going to bring it in. If we brought it in on the and 4 and, we'd have 1, 2, ready, and 1 and 2. Swung it, we'd have 1, 2, ready, and. So kind of interesting, kind of a fun variation. Now, one thing that I love to do when you get into this mode is to take and do a 2-measure pattern where we tie the end of 4 with beat 1 of the next measure. So we get this down, up, down, up, up, down, up, up, down, up, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, up, down, up, up, down, up, up, down, up. 1 and 2 and 4 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 and 2 and 4 and. So I'm going to start off by doing the whole thing. So 2 measures per chord. We'd have 1, 2, ready, and. So we could also swing it. So you got 1, 2, ready, and. one chord per measure. When we do one chord per measure, we're going to anticipate across that bar line. So we're going to bring in the new chord on the and of 4. So like 1 and 2 and 4 and 1, 2, ready, and. Could also do where we're swinging it. So 1, 2, ready, and. Do where we have each chord just taking up half a measure. We'd have 1, 2, ready, and. We can swing it that way as well. So 1, 2, ready, and. Simple as that. Super fun strumming pattern. Of course, as I am treating the notes for all these, I'm just letting the chords ring open, as we often do in open position. So not really manipulating it beyond that. From previous lessons, we know that that fourth way of manipulating or sort of the fourth thing that affects the strumming pattern is how we treat the strumming or the rest or whatever we're doing, however we're doing a rhythmic figure. And so just letting them ring over that is one option. If I was playing these, where I was using, say, bar chords, for example, I might be controlling the ending of each note. So if I go back and do that, it will completely change the feel. And maybe I'm not letting the chords ring over as much because I'm relaxing my left hand. So relaxing a little bit, and not when I want to cut off the sound of the strings. Right there, and sometimes I'm strumming a muted string because I've relaxed my hand. So on beats 2 and 4, I'm just letting my hand play against those muted strings. Those kinds of things will change the strumming pattern further, and we can play with that a lot. We talked about that in previous lessons some, and we'll continue to show some different variations from time to time. But I have one more strumming pattern up here that we want to look at. And this one, we're tying the and of 2 to beat 3, the and of 3 to beat 4. So we're going to have 1 up, 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 down, up, 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 down, up, 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 down, up. Which is kind of fun. Let's plug that in here one time per chord. 1, 2, ready, and. strumming pattern might not be one that would maybe go through a whole song, but one of the cool things when we're playing a song is to sort of mix up the feel. So if we were doing this one here, or even this one here, if we did that for a specific part of the song, maybe for the verse, and then we get to the chorus and we do this other one, it changes the feel. Or maybe we're doing this one over here, one of these two for the verse and the chorus, then we get to this bridge and we're going to change it up. So it can be kind of fun to change up the song. Some songs just repeat over and over, sort of just the basic bar form. And with those, then maybe the different verses that we're going through, or the different choruses, depending on the term that you want to use, or what style of music you're playing, because the terms get used in different styles, sometimes a little bit differently. But the repeat of each time through the song, we might change it up. So to do that, we'll do this one here. We'll go through the chords and do that one 2 times, and then switch over to this one. So you'd have 1, 2, ready, and... fun, and you could go back. Now, it's fun. Another variation with this one is to actually add a little bit of a slap strum in here. So on beat 1, where we're doing the down strum, to catch a percussive slap there, so I'm slapping the strings as I'm strumming. So kind of just muting them, but not quite, sort of slapping with my hand as I'm strumming. So you got 1, 2, ready, and... So, with that slap strumming, back to this one, it's fun to throw it in on beats 2 and 4, or even this one. So 2 and 4, we have the down, up, down, up, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So if we throw in a slap strum on beats 2 and 4, we'd have... be a way to sort of change up how things are happening in a song too. You might have it open where you're not doing any slap strumming, and then add some slap strumming, just sort of changes the variation. Maybe that comes in on the chorus and it wasn't there on the verse. You could do that same thing with this one. If I do 1 chord per measure, I'd have 1, 2, ready, and... where you have 2 chords per measure with that slap strumming as well. You'd have 1, 2, ready, and... So lots of different ways you could have variations. You can mix up, you could do this for one measure and this for the other measure. So you'd have 1, 2, ready, and... That time when I was doing the up strums, I was actually muting after each one to make it percussive. So I'm slapping those strings with the palm of my hand to mute them. when I'm doing it. I'll just do it that way the whole way through. That treatment changes it compared to going. Little things contribute to the specifics of a strumming pattern and how we can get variations even when we have the same rhythm. So super cool, lots of fun. In the next lesson, so in lesson 7, we're going to do some other rhythmic patterns, have a little syncopation, do some other fun patterns, sort of building on this same sort of thing. It's going to be great. Once we've done that, we're going to start getting into some other meters like 5/8, 7/8, 9/8, 12/8, 6/8. Some of those, got to cover those. So it's going to be great. Hope you're having fun. Take care, and we'll see you again. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. For more in-depth lessons and to progress through a free guitar course, check out my Guitar 101 series on YouTube and my guitar method books, which all come with access to hours of in-depth video lessons. You can find more information about me and my products at KristenBromley.com. Take care.